Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for a Fulham preview. Got my mask on again. I've actually been pretty ill. It's been like 2 whole weeks at the start of this year that I've just not been feeling good whatsoever. We're going to take a little walk. I'm going to keep my mask as close to me as I possibly can. It's Fulham away in the Premier League today. It's Derby Day, West London Derby. It's the one that probably means a bit more to Fulham than it does to Chelsea, but it's not to say it's not a massive game. Chelsea's league form has been nothing shy of abysmal ever since the beginning of December. Since that victory against Leeds, things haven't been good. We did beat West Ham 3-0, but other than that, it's been poor from Chelsea in recent weeks. So this is a game where you look at where Fulham are in the table. Yes, they're unbeaten in their last 5 games. There's a lot of bikes, so maybe I just go up and down this little side street here. They have drawn their last 5 games. They're not losing as much as they were. They've not really found a ruthless streak to be able to actually kill teams off, to win games of football. But I watched the way they played. I watched the game against Spurs the other night, and I was actually very impressed with what I saw from Fulham. I think they're a decent side. They play some good football. Scott Parker's got them very organised now as well, which is something they're going to need in order to stay up this season. And I feel as though this kind of derby match against Chelsea, for them, it's one of their biggest games of the season. They're at home, they're at Craven Cottage, and it's an opportunity for them to turn these draws into victories. And if they do that against Chelsea, then, well, that is the perfect way for them to springboard their season forward. Hopefully, it's not going to be the case today. Frank Lampard knows that despite the 4-0 win against Morecambe, which was good, and based off of the comments from the 6 Things We Learned video, I've only made one video that was uploaded yesterday. Since then, there's a spider flying. What is Daddy Longlegs? That's exactly what that is. Don't know what he was doing down there. In the comments of that video, people were saying, you can't be too happy with this. You shouldn't be happy about this. That is a footballing opinion I will never agree with. It doesn't matter what is put in front of you. If you win a game of football, if my team win a game of football, I'm gonna be happy about it. It was Morecambe, yes, but there were positives in there for Chelsea, and sometimes it's not about the quality of opposition that you beat, it's about what the result could resemble and mean for the players that were on the pitch, particularly the likes of Havertz and Werner, who got desperately needed goals. So whether it's Morecambe or not, it's a confidence boost for Chelsea going into a big derby game, and the pressure is on for Frank Lampard. As I mentioned earlier, I said it in the video yesterday where a lot of people didn't like the idea of me talking about maybe Lampard being sacked and the 10 managers ranking them. As a Chelsea channel, I've kind of got to address things whether I agree with it or not. I also stated very clearly in that video, despite some of the comments, that I'm very clearly Frank Lampard in. I don't think he should be sacked anytime soon, but the pressure will be on. We know what things are like at Chelsea when results don't go our way. Football is a results-driven business. Chelsea are a team that are used to winning trophies, competing, and in a season in the Premier League where you look a couple of weeks ago at Manchester United and they weren't anywhere near the title race. All of a sudden, they're 3 points clear at the top of the table with a chance to extend it against the side closest to them in Liverpool. Let me just put you guys up here against the wall. Hopefully that doesn't fall down. It's been raining all day here. This is absolutely massive for our Chelsea today. And the team that we're going to build is going to start off, of course, as it always does, with the goalkeeper, Edouard Mendy. Kepa Arrizabalaga got himself a clean sheet against Morecambe. There was a good moment for him in that game. There was a nice save early on when the score was still 0-0, but it's not enough for him to take Mendy's place, unfortunately. For him, at least, I'm happy with Mendy despite his recent form. Edouard Mendy starts in goal, and we move into the return of Reece James in right back. He's been back in training, he's been looking good, and Frank Lampard said that he's in contention for this game away at Fulham. So, with that being said, I think we have really lacked Reece James's creativity when Azpilicueta has been playing. We know that Azpi has been a wonderful servant for Chelsea Football Club, but the quality that Reece James brings, we know that Chelsea's game plan for a lot of this season has been cross the ball into the box. And if we're not going to be able to adjust anything for that plan today, which with Kante's suspension, I think it could be difficult to adjust the formations. So I think Reece James has got to come back in as long as he's fully fit and ready. Don't want to see Lampard rushing him back when he's actually not ready. My throat is absolutely killing me here in this video today, but we'll move anyway into the centre-back pairing of both Kurt Zouma and Thiago Silva. This one's at the point now where it pretty much picks itself. If those guys are fit, then they're the 2 first-choice centre-backs at the club. It is looking at the moment as if Fikayo Tomori is about to go out on loan to AC Milan. rumours are being told that there's going to be an option to buy clause in that deal as well, which I think is a really poor move from Chelsea. I think there is a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes where, you know, maybe it's a personal thing that Lampard doesn't like about Tomori. I have no idea. It's been one of those that I get asked the question all the time on Instagram and Twitter, and I don't know what it is. You know, I see a very good, solid centre-half in Fikayo Tomori, but for whatever reason, and I think a lot of it is down to tactics and concentration levels that Lampard might have mentioned in the past, for whatever reason, Lampard doesn't see Tomori's immediate future at Chelsea Football Club. And even when the chances have arisen for him to actually start games, he's not done it. So it's quite clear that he isn't one of the first choice centre-backs in Lampard's plans. He does say that there is a future for him at the club. At the moment, I just don't see where that's going to be. And if there's an option to buy for AC Milan, even though they've not sanctioned option to buy deals when they've done deals with Chelsea in the past, I think Tomori's a player with so much promise, and I think Chelsea could be letting a good one go if it's a 30 million sale. So those are the two centre-backs. I'm sniffling everywhere here, and I don't really want to go out on the street because, yeah, well, who knows what it could possibly be. The left-back that we're going with today is Ben Chilwell. Of course, I've said it throughout the whole season. I think he's been one of Chelsea's best players. Few games over the New Year Christmas period where I didn't think he was at his absolute best, and I think that was down to an injury and Frank Lampard bringing him back sooner than he probably should have. But I think if Chilwell is fit again, which he looks like he's ready, then he should be starting this game. He's Chelsea's #1 left back. I think he's the kind of player that, again, if we focus on what we have been doing a lot this season, he's very effective when he goes forward, and I think defensively he's probably the best left back the club has had since we had Ashley Cole all of those years ago, and boy did we miss him for a few years, despite the brilliance maybe of Alonso at Wembley once or twice. So we then move into a 3-man midfield, which I know, again, you're going to be bringing up some old videos, recent old videos, saying, Benson, what you're talking about? You made a video saying you want to see 4-2-3-1. I do, and I stand by that, but I want to see 4-2-3-1 with N'Golo Kante as the key anchor man in that midfield. And sadly, N'Golo Kante is suspended for this game, but I say sadly, I think it's a perfect opportunity to give Billy Gilmour the start in this one. I've put him in front of the defence with 2 number 8s again for this game, and I think that Billy is ready. You know, this kind of match against Fulham, they're pretty physical as a side, and I think Billy will actually relish that kind of challenge. I know he's not the biggest player, but he definitely does have a presence in that midfield. You see him in his interviews, he mentions how he looked up to Cesc Fabregas when he first joined Chelsea, because Fabregas's vision is to always try and go forward, to put those balls over the top, the through balls. Billy Gilmour is trying to implement that more into his game. It's a perfect player for him to try and base his style of football off of. And I think that Billy could have a huge say in what Chelsea do in this game. I think that he controls the tempo of the football matches very well. Maybe Lampard goes with Jorginho. We've seen him score a wonder goal at Craven Cottage in the past, but I've said it throughout this whole season, as much as I rate what Jorginho can be as a player, it was a lot of my support of him was due to the fact that he scored all the penalties that he was given, but nowadays he doesn't score them either. He misses those, and I think the pace that he plays the game at is something that Frank Lampard doesn't want currently with this Chelsea side. So we move into the 2 number 8s, and it's Mason Mount and Kai Havertz. I don't think Mateo Kovacic has been playing at his best in recent games, and I think Havertz played pretty well in that game against Morecambe. He gets himself a goal as well, towering header. Mason Mount, we know how key he is in this Chelsea side. I think those two together, with Havertz's recent show of a little bit more form and presence on the pitch, I think this could be a perfect game for him to try and control the midfield, control the tempo for Chelsea, get us forward, maybe score another Premier League goal, and I think that could work something very well. We move into a front 3, going from right to left, and there is a surprise exclusion from my starting 11 today, and it's Christian Pulisic. I've not started with Christian Pulisic, I've started with Hakim Ziyech, Timo Werner, and Callum Hudson-Odoi. Speaking of the latter, first of all, I think Callum has done more than enough with his recent performances to actually warrant starting games in the Premier League now for Chelsea. He has been in very good form, he's scoring, he's getting assists, he's looking very good indeed. And I think if ever there was a time that Callum's played his way into the Chelsea side, I would say that it's now. There's always a worry with Christian Pulisic about injuries, is he fully fit, is he ready? And I think this kind of game is one where you do give Callum the run, You start him on the left in his preferred position, and maybe Pulisic comes off the bench to change the game, which we know that he's capable of doing. I've started Hakim Ziyech on the right because he's far more comfortable on the right-hand side as opposed to Christian Pulisic, who prefers it on the left. And the starting striker is Timo Werner. He got that goal against Morecambe. I said it was super important for him to score. Whether the performance was outstanding or not in that game in the FA Cup, the fact that he got that burden and that baggage off of his back of not scoring for 13 or 14 or games, whatever it was, that could be the springboard that Timo needs confidence-wise in order to start bagging them in again in the Premier League. I know that Tammy's form has been good and Olivier Giroud's form has been good, but I think Timo Werner and his pace could be very key for Chelsea in this game. Getting in behind the defences, Billy Gilmour playing those through balls, Fabregas Costa kind of combination. That's why I've gone for Timo today. I'm also trying to back him because I think a lot of people have been slating him recently. We're going to find out in the next couple of hours what Frank Lampard's team is going to be. If any of those front three don't make it and Pulisic's in there, Tammy's in there, I just think Callum Hudson-Odoi is the first attacking name that I've put on that team sheet so far. So let me know your thoughts on my starting 11 in the comments down below, and let me know if you disagree in the comments below. My score prediction for this one, it's not going to be easy. Fulham have not lost in quite some time. They've also not won, and Chelsea are in dire need of a win. I'm going to say a 2-1 win. I can't say that with much confidence at this point in time, but 2-1 win for Chelsea. Let me know your predictions in the comments down below as well. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you after the game with 6 things we learned. Come on, you Blues.